hang on a second. Oh, there we go. So brilliant. Yeah, I mean, thanks for sending those. Well, I've got one behind me. I look like a Photoshop that you didn't do.
The only thing I did on that one was.
Hang on a second. Let me turn this.
This is my first Zoom meeting, so I'm.
Oh well, you're doing good, and yeah, this is brilliant. This one, it's just fantastic. They're all quite extraordinary. It's obviously something you've been doing for ages. Yeah, what would tell us? Well, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, and I do as I put it up, I thought, yeah, I do really look like I've done this Photoshop version of this. Normally, if I did someone that had Louise, she had her stall, and if it's that, or but particularly with Photoshop, so I don't know if this is going to be beneficial to you or.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, that's a recent example. What I try to do is, I think all creatives have more than one outlet. I can't play an instrument. I can't sing. I have a sense of humor. I have a gift of making people laugh. I've done stand-up before. So I combine Photoshop, and then I try to get a laugh out of it as well. So as evidenced by this one I did with a still shot from Michael Jackson's Scream video. And then I put my face on there where Janet was. So that's just one that I do for fun. I mean, that's one of them. I do, I call them faux lux images, fake luxury images that I'm able to do. So that with Photoshop, for me, I'm able to combine, get a laugh out of it, plus be technically sound on producing it. I started in Photoshop in 1988, 1990, whenever it first came out. And I don't know if you're familiar with it at all, but back then you didn't have layers that you could use. Everything you had to, I worked for printing and advertising. So you had to do several versions to submit to the client. So if they liked the one, you had it, but then if they wanted to change something, you had some intermediate files that you could go. Well, now it's great because you just have one layered file, and it's amazing what can be done. I've really only scratched the surface of it.
Well, you say you've only scratched the surface, but they really look so accomplished. They're really eye-catching, as you said. They're funny, but it's funny, but you can tell straight off that they're so brilliantly executed. They're fabulous. And so that reminds me what you just said. That it's not dissimilar to when I was interviewing Ross last week, and he was talking about the difference between analog and digital, and that there's really the time factor from when you started. Well, it's changed now, as you said, but the time factor, and also adding layers. Really, in that sense, it's not dissimilar to the difference between analog and digital. Well, the digitalization of everything, really. There's pros and cons. So, what do you think? I mean, you've outlined some of the advantages. What are there any things that you're nostalgic for, that you still use from the old processes?
Well, just to be brief, I grew up, I was always involved in arts all through school. I mean, I've thrown pottery, I've done oil painting, acrylic painting, I've made masks, all kinds. I was very fortunate. The area that I grew up, it had a robust art community that I could get involved with.
Was that in Richmond? Was that
great?
Was that in Richmond?
Yes, this is my home. I've always lived here. Mm-hmm. So I started with that, painting, drawing. I had some things displayed in some of the county buildings and entered competitions and things like that. Well, when Photoshop came along, I'd started originally working for a graphic arts company. So we worked in tandem with the ad agencies. The ad agencies would send us the files. We would take a photograph of the image they wanted to use, and then the copywriter would send all the copy, and then we would composite the ads for them. So I come from a background of actually trade developing in a darkroom.
Okay.
This is in the early mid 80s. So if anyone's familiar with Photoshop, you look at the palette that you use, and they have a dodge and burn tool. They have a lot of the tools they use are representative of the old school way of doing things in a darkroom. So I started off that way. And I transitioned from high school into I got a job at a graphic arts company. They taught me the camera work, and then I moved on to another company, and they taught me to do the 4-color retouching process. I say that if you look at a printed piece, if you look at any magazine, any printed piece, it's made up of 4 colors: cyan, magenta, yellow, and black.
Oh.
That's the color. That's the color space I work from. Now your monitor is RGB, red, blue, and green. No monitor is perfectly calibrated for output. We get as close as we can. So the way I work in Photoshop, obviously you want to have the highest resolution image to start with, because your end product, you don't want to do all this work and then the resolution is so low, you go to print it out and it's really grainy and things like that. So you start with a highest resolution image, whether you photograph it yourself, whether you get a stock image from somewhere. If I come up with an idea, like say the one with the Scream video, I do a search online. Sometimes I'll look for, let's say, Scream video, or let's say Scream desktop. And that will always give you like the highest resolution file to begin with.
Okay.
Then the photographs that I take, whether I use my camera or my phone, I'll take a photograph the highest resolution that I can.
So you always start with the highest resolution before you actually even start doing any editing. Yeah, and
yes.
So for a novice or even for a photographer, because plenty of photographers don't do, they might do Photoshop to it, but they don't do this superimposing in the same way. Photoshop is very specific in that. So right. what else would you say would be? I mean, that's all fascinating. What else would if you were telling another photographer, what else would you say would be the basics, that if they're kind of really great in another area, what would you say that they'd need to be thinking about?
Well, color obviously is so important.
That's what you mentioned,
you want the color you see that you have on screen to match what's going to print.
Yeah.
You don't want to something looks great on screen, then you print it and then the skin tones are blue or way off or things like that. So that's
the color
another
itself
reason.
And the resolution and the actual resolutions that you start with when you start working.
Yes, and a really great tool. I can't find mine right now, but Pantone books, Pantone. It's a Pantone. It's a bunch of swatches. It opens like a fan, and you pick the color that you want. So it gives you the Pantone color, but then it will also give you the breakdown for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So I don't know if you can see my screen at all.
I can see it, yeah.
This is an image that I did some time ago.
I can't see exactly what it is. What is that image?
Here, let me blow it up a little bit. It's one I did. It's just another, like a surreal image that I did. But if you, when you put your cursor over any place on the image, I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm sorry that it's.
No, I can see it.
This is not that one, excuse me. Okay. This is the info bar right here. Now this is right, this image currently is in RGB because that's what I changed it back to when I go to put it on the web, because it has to be RGB.
Okay.
So let me convert this really quick to CMYK. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Now, anywhere I read on here, let's say the skin tone here, I can put the pointer over that, and it gives me the breakdown. It tells me exactly what this 4 color is to make up that. So, skin tone, a normal Caucasian tone, you're going to have the cyan is going to be 1/3 to 1/5 of what the magenta and yellow is. Magenta and yellow, you want them to be as close as possible. If you're working with African-American skin or anything other than a regular skin tone, not regular, but anything other than a Caucasian skin tone, you'll have more cyan in there, which is so, and that just comes from learning and doing it. I don't mean to be jumping around the board,
No, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I'm a novice. I've never done photoshopping before, so it's all new to me.
But that's what I do. I'll get a image that I'll bring in, and like this one is composed of 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 images. The big background one. Then this originally had
So you've superimposed 7 different. That didn't start like that.
Yeah, the original image was the background here, and the images for the female here. Originally, it was a guy floating. It was a human form floating, and it was kind of creepy. So I actually took. Somebody had done a video of a YouTube video of what was it? It was a Darin song. And anyway, this image was the girl that they had used in there. So I thought, well, that would be cool to put it here. So I did that, and then this is a suit, and then I need another model besides myself. All I have is my head that I put on everything.
But I quite
like, man, this guy looks really conceited.
I know you're your own muse, aren't you? I like that. I like that.
I have to be. I can't afford a model, so I have to put myself in there.
I'm sure people would love to be involved in your work because it's brilliant. You should ask some of your friends if they're up for it. But it creates an identity. I don't know if you know the artist Tracy Emin, but she does a lot of it's not an unfamiliar idea that artists use themselves in their work. So I thought it was deliberate. So you don't need to say I can't find I didn't know that's the practicalities that you can't find another model. I thought it was that's part of your thing. That's part of your
well, it
concept.
Is.
Yeah.
It's always, to be honest with you, and I think this is funny, the face of mine that I use with those Porsche sunglasses on, it's the exact same headshot. I just always find an image that I can make it look like it will fit, and I'll change the skin tone and things like that. So it's fun to do. It's fun to do because it's so it really comes out. The ones that come out well look really realistic. I recently did. I don't know if you saw. I did a Prince one. It was him.
I did see that one.
It was. You said you did or you didn't?
I did see it. Yeah, that was great.
I've got a lot of feedback from that. I posted on some sites. I've got a.
Where did you post it?
There's a Morris Day in the Time website that I'm on, and then there's a Prince fan site. So I put it on there. I just thought people would get a laugh out of it, And I put at the top. I captioned it. Feeling cute, might listen to some Prince later, I don't know. And I put it up there, and I have like over 200. This is just since yesterday I put it up. I've had over 200 people comment on it, and some of them were negative. Guys said, and
well, you've got diehard fans, so I guess if you're doing anything that's not putting a Prince image up, then it could be open. It's courageous. It's what you do, but it could be open to a negative comment as well, I guess.
And if you're creative, you have to be open to criticism. I mean,
absolutely.
So I ended up posting the actual image of Prince that I use with that blue suit. It's from the Raven to the Year 2000 CD, and I
love that. Yeah. Well, I find all of them are fascinating. They really draw you in, and they're funny. So it's interesting that you said you do use why do you decide? Is it because it's easier, or is there another reason why you deliberately want to use the same image of yourself?
Well, it started out as just for fun. I did one, and then I just started looking for other images where I could put my head.
But that particular image, rather than different images of your face, why is it that you like to use the same image of your face?
I don't have that many good ones of me.
Okay, well, again, let's reframe that as it's part of the creative.
It's part of my niche. I mean, when I do things on my Photoshop page or anything, my friends on my personal page, people see it. That's my thing. They always know they know it's a joke. They know it's not real. And then I try to incorporate the comedic part of it to get a laugh. So
well, it really works. It really gets that point across. Something about it being exactly the same image. It really endorses that idea. And it is. They're really funny. I mean, you sent there was the Elizabeth Taylor one. And what other ones have you done? So who else are you very good friends with in image form?
Well, that one came out really well, and I like that guy that I don't know who he was, but he was dressed like I would dress in that fuchsia tuxedo jacket with Elizabeth Hurley, and so I'll do jokes where everybody does Throwback Thursday, Flashback Friday. So I'll put an impossible image that obviously I am not in. And that's like, I put that one, if you saw it, it said, there's a great hotel here in Richmond, a 5-star hotel. It's called the Jefferson. And all the celebrities stay there when they come to town. So when I did that, the comedic part of it was I put my head on that guy and he's got his arm around her and it looks like her hand is down like on my lower back, on my backside. And
Yeah,
I said,
you're a very, very happy couple.
yeah, doesn't it? Oh, I think she compliments me very well. So yeah, so I put that up there, and for my Flashback Friday, I did so great to run into my old flame Liz for drinks at the Jefferson, and I said she hasn't changed, always with the grab ass. So that was and that one came out, it looked really real. You can, if you ever get a chance, you can look it up. All my stuff is up on Facebook, but that one came out good. Another one I did, I thought this was funny. I did one of Elvis, and he's backstage and he's leaning over, and I can't remember the politician's name. It was a governor, and he was in a wheelchair. So it's a black and white photo. Elvis is in his full regalia, and this guy's sitting in a wheelchair, and he's got a 70s suit and suit jacket and tie. So I put my head on there, and Elvis is leaning over to say something to him, and I said, Evel Knievel had run me over and crushed my hip that afternoon as I was filling his whiskey cane. And Elvis leaned over and laughed when I told him to break a leg. I'll find that one and send it to you so you don't have to search through. But that one came out kind of real. And that's,
so they're they're brilliantly executed, but there is a real wit there, and it sounds like, yeah, it's that kind of commentary on the fame game in a way, and poking fun at it and just having fun with it, because it's such a saturated, everybody's famous these days as soon as you get on social media. So is it something around that, just kind of having fun with the idea of fame?
It is. I mean, I think all artists like attention, and I always enjoy the attention, and
no exception.
I do something that nobody else that I know of does in that niche. Like I said,
it feels unique.
I wish I could play an instrument or sing or something like that, but I can't. But so I do the comedic part of it. So that's fun. It is an outlet, and plus it's something that I really like doing. I mean, I'm not a mathematician. That is very tedious to me. But Photoshop, I can work on something for hours, and it's just a release. And then when you see when it comes out, when you're done, the finished product, I'm like, man, I can't wait to post that. It really gives me an endorphin rush.
I'm not surprised, because they're brilliant. They're really good fun, but they also look so brilliantly executed. I mean, you said that you started, you've done your route was being an artist all through your background, and then you said, did you work? What kind of adverts did you do? Like any adverts that we know of? Were you involved in?
Well, I was fortunate enough. I got a couple that I was working for. They were hired by an ad agency. He was the art director. She was the copywriter. They actually worked on some of the very first Apple ads with Kevin Costner in the early 80s. They're a mature couple now, but anyway, they approached me about doing freelance. So I had a really great opportunity to do freelance with them. And he would sit with me at his computer and tell me the image. He did it all old school. He would hire a photographer. They would be in a studio. To give you an idea, I don't know if you're familiar with Kingsdown mattresses. That was a national campaign that they had the account for. One of the ones I'm really pleased with, their whole tie-in was like Sleep for Your Health is what their ad campaign was for. So I had the image, he had shot like a 12-ounce regular clear glass and like an iced tea glass. And then in the studio, he got sent up from the plant actual mattresses from Kingsdown. So they did the lighting and everything. It was meticulous. So he had all those images, and then my job was to combine them. And this particular ad was to put the mattress inside the water glass. Oh, so that's the connotation of to sleep for your health, hydration and sleep. That one came out very well. I don't have any of that on.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Do you still do a lot of that kind of stuff, or did you move away from that?
Well, that dried up for me. The reason being, when I was doing that, you had, like I said, you had the advertising agencies here, and then you had the graphic arts house here. Well, as everybody was going through college and the applications became more available, then people were going to college and going into the art classes. So advertising agencies were hiring people, and they already knew Photoshop.
Oh,
So
they're
they
kind
did
of doing
everything
it in-house. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So how have you sustained yourself with your Photoshop work now? Is it more that you do it as a creative venture and it's not, and you have a part-time job?
Well, I'm just now getting back into trying to make a living out of it, like I did when I was doing freelance. Before, I was in sales. I've been in sales. I have a gift for talking to people and selling over the phone. It was nice. I didn't have to travel. So I worked for a company. Actually, the last job I had, I was a heating and air conditioning company. So I was the residential inside sales manager for them. And so I did that. But
and how does that go with your own work promoting? Because if you've got all that expertise in sales, it can be such a different thing when you're promoting your own work. Do you find that, or you feel, oh, thank goodness, at least I know sales, so I could sell my stuff to anyone?
Well, the sales part of it was the only creative part of that was I had to write all of my phone scripts.
I mean, with your own work now. How does it translate to selling yourself as an artist?
Well, I've followed the leads that you provided the other day, which were very helpful getting on there. I have some other friends. We have some mutual friends. Excuse me, Nathan Stack. He's given me a couple of leads to go and pursue. I think it's just one of those things. It's kind of a niche that's a unique market that there's nothing really for it right now. And I think once I get the ball rolling, I think I'll get some clients. I've done some stuff for free. There's another friend of mine. She's very classy, very statuesque. And so I've used her in some stuff. She asked me I did one image of her. I'll have to show it to you. An image of Adam Ant from the 80s when he had the hustler jacket on and he had the white stripe. Well, I put her face on there with his hair, and I did one and put the stripe. And so that was her. So she posts her stuff on her page for people to see. And I give them my email link for that. And I've done a few things for her. I did one with
great. I mean, they are. It's the kind of thing that people are gonna. Well, I love everyone. You can hear everyone's response in the group that this group because they are so instant. They are eye catching. They are, and also because of the relevance. Because you're with so many famous people. But it is the expertise. It's not just that. They're so brilliantly done. They really are. And so you're saying that. I meant actually in terms of how do you feel about, because you've obviously got the expertise in sales, how do you feel about selling yourself? Because when you are an independent artist, it can be another thing to feel, is that comfortable because you have that skill set, or does it feel awkward for you to actually promote yourself? Was that just not really even an issue? Maybe because you're good at sales, I don't know.
Well, it's not an issue. The images sell themselves. That's what draws people in. You know,
great point.
We're all visually stimulated. So when you see an image and you're like, wow, I know that guy. That can't be him with Elvis from 1970 something. You know, it's like, how do you do it? And so people like it. And I have people that follow them and they'll tell me that they look forward to some of the stuff that I'm going to put up. Some of them have more legs than others, you know, like the Prince one that just took off.
That's
I mean,
I'm
still getting stuff from that.
That's fabulous. It must be. So presumably you just do what takes you. How do you choose? What is it? Something that you might read on the day you wake up, or how do you choose your things, or do you do? Because I mean, that Prince obviously sadly is no longer with us, and neither is Michael Jackson. Very sad. Yeah. But do you go on current stuff? What's your decision making, or is it just really whatever takes your fancy?
Oh, let me just say this really quick. I did get on stage with Prince in 2000. My sister won tickets, and she knew what a huge Prince fan. The first time I saw Prince was in '82 at the Richmond Coliseum. It was Prince, the Time, Vanity 6, incredible.
Wow.
And I was up close to the stage. It was standing room. That was the 1999 tour. But anyway, my sister won tickets in 2000 for the Hit and Run tour here at the Moss. They played. It's now called the Richmond Landmark Theater. And we got the tickets, and it was like A12 and A13. And my sister's name is Annulette. And I said, Annulette, we're probably going to be on the end because but anyway, those tickets, those seats, A12 and A13 were in the exact center. We couldn't have had better seats.
Oh my goodness.
And the guy comes out, his guitar tech, and he's setting all his guitars out in front of us on the floor. I mean, I could have reached out and touched his purple guitar, the cymbal one. You could see the fretboard, and he's got his cymbal is the brass inlaid.
Goodness, that must have been amazing being that
it
close. His performance the whole. I saw them at it was at Wembley Arena. Yeah, the Sign of the Times tour, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, brilliant that you got such great feedback from that one. What's your So what do you say? What's your next? Is it just what comes up for you, Darin? Then, or is it kind of random, or is it?
Well, what happened is, I've lived by myself. I have 2 grown daughters. I'm actually a grandfather, believe it or not.
Congratulations.
So my time is my own, and I will really just get on my phone, and I'll think of an idea. And usually what happens while I'm looking for elements for that, I'll stumble onto something. And I'm like,
when you kind of just browse it, yeah.
I'm like, oh, so, I'm like free associating. I'm looking at stuff, and I'm like, so I'll copy or I'll save or I'll make a mental note of that. I said, that is a good idea to have. I can see making that work. So I'll get that. That's usually how it happens. But then sometimes I'll think of something and an idea, and then most of the work it takes is trying to find the image that you want. Sometimes you stumble on one, and other times, you just have to, find what you can. But I'm able to look at something and say, that's not going to look real enough. So I hate to get in the middle of or down the road in something, invested in it, and I'm never going to put it out for anybody to see because it's not up to. It's not my quality of work that I want to do. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do right now. And I'm really just now, since I've got involved with you to kind of spur me on, I was trying to look for different avenues that I could do to, showcase what I do and get some customers. I've put some ads out, some things out here locally on Marketplace and Facebook. So I've had a few bites there. People
that's
have
great
about doing that.
And where would it be? Is it kind of as a commissions for people if they want an actual, they want a copy of something, or would it be for I guess there's so many places for Photoshop. It's still video and ads and a lot of media. Where else is Photoshop? I mean, it's used everywhere, really, isn't it? Where do you like to? Where would you see this? Would you see this more like as a commission? Because it's so artistic and they're funny, but there's such a strong identity in them that they do have an identity. As an actual artist, that you have an identity of your own. So are you veering towards more being an artist and selling your works in that sense, or is it more that you're looking for opportunities as a Photoshopper?
Well, both, but mainly for the niche that I feel like I fit in. Because, like when you go to amusement parks, you'll see those places where they have old-timey photos and they put you in outfits and they do like a sepia tone or, black and white photo, and you're like an old Western guy.
I see.
People love that stuff.
They do.
And they put themselves in that environment. So that's what I do digitally. If someone will provide me with a photo or give me access to their Photoshop pages, and I can look at their photos and pick out what I want. Like I was telling you, my friend Lori, she wanted to do some stuff. And so I went through her photos. Some of them weren't high enough resolution. I said, you got to take the time and just do a couple of headshots with your phone.
So what's it going to be? What's the resolution got to be minimum?
Okay. For print, if you're going to print something, I don't want to do anything less than 300 dots per inch, DPI. Like if you have your printer setting at home, you got 300, 600, 1200.
Yeah.
Now,
No less than 300.
Yes. Now, when you're doing it on screen, they're not going to really put any image is going to be above 72 DPI. So what you got to do is have your image large enough. Like I always do them bigger than what it's going to actually put.
Okay, so have the resolution high enough so that you can compress it and it's going to be okay.
Yes, because nothing is more frustrating for me than and it's from trial and error. You get an image you think you can work with, and then when comes out, the resolution is not there, and it just takes the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, so, it must do. It must.
And I think anything that you like, you're going to be good at. Anything that you enjoy, and you put your time into it, you're going to enjoy that. Some people love doing tactics and working with numbers.
Yeah, it comes over loud and clear in your images. They're absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much for sharing all your journey and your story, and they're brilliant. What would you say you want to find out about in terms of what you do next from a business perspective? So because that's also very interesting to me in terms of content planning for the future. What things do you feel? I mean, I heard you say from the visions last week, more visibility online specifically. Yes. So what else do you feel are your pain points, put it like that?
Well, I would like to do some things, basically giving them away to some people, because word of mouth, it just seems like they'll direct people to my images online, and then someone could contact, hey, I like this. Like the one gentleman that I talked to, he reached out to me when I put a thing on. He said he wanted to talk about some pricing, and then he was talking about, he said, well, I'll probably contact you here for a couple of images here in a week or so. And I said, great. So I didn't get back in contact with him. Then I did another image. I looked at his Facebook page, and I saw that he likes high performance sports cars. He had some Lamborghini pictures of stuff. And I have an image, I'll have to share this one with you too. I did a surreal one. I stumbled upon this. It's a background, and it's like UFOs flying over, and it's a highway going through the woods. And I had a beautiful, really high resolution image of this new Ferrari that I saved. I'm going to use that for something. I just don't know what yet. And then again, I put the image of me in there, walking away from it, and it has a yellow beam coming down around me, like the aliens are taking it. Anyway, it's another surreal one, but I was really pleased with the way. Fabulous. So I sent that to him, and I said, just to give you an idea, I can put you with any high performance exotic sports car you want to do also. So I'm going to reach out to him again this week. And then, oh gosh, what's our friend's name? Chanteuse, what's her name? The singer? Yes. So I'm friends with her on Facebook now, and she actually she's talked to me about doing something. I've got to get back in contact with her.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, that's brilliant to hear that. Well, honestly, Darin, thanks so much for sharing your images. They're really, really brilliant. They're fantastic. And I hope, I heard you say you're up for giving them away. Don't give them all away. I know you want to present, you want to get your images out there, but they're of high quality. So remember that before you start giving absolutely everything away for free. That's the only independent creator alarm bell that went off. I know that there's a joy and there's an enthusiasm, and you're trying to get your work out there. And so I know that there's a bit of a plan there, but they are so good. It can be easy to forget that when we're not. When we're not at the kind of optimum place in terms of the marketplace. So it can be easy to think that we need to do all that, and expression, don't make yourself hungry. So just go easy, hope you're discerning on that, because they're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. And
I think if people, I'm sorry, if I was to do something for someone at a reduced rate, if they would give me permission to use their work that I do for them to gain other stuff, that would be a win-win also, because nobody wants to keep looking at pictures of me and everything that I do.
Well, that's good. As I said, I thought it was part of your identity. I thought it was like you could get an exhibition in your stuff. It's brilliant stuff. I thought it was part of the actual, the brand, the philosophical overview of your artistic vision.
Right.
You know, so again, you can reframe some of the what you're saying. So because it's great, but I hear you, and also the different ways of the different options that you said you're open to. So brilliant! Thank you ever so much, and look
Thank
forward
you.
to
And
seeing.
if anybody in our group wants to contact,
Oh, you've gone off, Darin. I don't know why.
here I
Oh, you
am.
come back again.
If anybody in our group wants to talk to me about Photoshop, if they want some tips or hints or help or anything
Brilliant.
like that, I'm open to do that. I would love to help anyone in the group that because that's how I learned. And so I would, I'd be very happy just to help someone getting started if they wanted an idea. Any information I could share, I'm happy to do that. And then if anybody wants to do, wants me to do anything for them, I would love to do that, obviously. So today,
Fantastic.
I'm finishing up
Fantastic.
I'm finishing up one thing today. I've got a good idea, I thought, for the Hammerhead song, for a cover for that.
Mm.
I need to finish that, and then I'm gonna post that with a few of my other images with my email address. That's the way to contact me now, to
Mm-hmm.
send me
All right. Well,
faux
yeah,
faux
send us
lux
send us an
images.
email and I'll put it in the on the top of this video. And that's all good. And I
Thank
wish you
you.
all the best with the options. I'm sure you're getting yourself out there, and you proficient at sales already. So there's it doesn't I don't think you're gonna have any problems. That is like a killer combination right there. Thanks ever so
Thank you,
much,
Ann.
Darin. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you. You
And
too. And I will talk with you soon.
yeah, look forward to seeing some more.
I'm going
Bye.
to put some things up today. Bye bye.
Yeah, do.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.